San Francisco's drag culture dates way back to the Gold Rush era. Due to a very unbalanced gender ratio, men often assumed roles that were typically assigned to women. For social gatherings, some would dress in female clothing to play the role of female dance partners, and sometimes just played the role of traditional domestic women. Back then, this wasn't called drag, though. This was considered cross-dressing. In 1863, cross-dressing was outlawed. By 1900, the city made over 100 arrests for cross-dressing. These laws and arrests created a discomfort towards those who cross-dressed, and further led to marginalization of them as a community. This political shift against cross-dressing encouraged the cross-dressing scene to avoid public spaces that were regularly policed. Through the 1890s into the early 1900s, San Francisco's queer culture emerged in bars, nightclubs, and entertainment, specifically in San Francisco's red light district on Pacific Avenue, where female impersonators were able to serve men clientele and perform without the threat of being thrown in jail. Foxy, a local drag queen, believes that Paris is Burning tells an important story about drag during the 1980s.
The whole Paris is Burning documentary. It's a documentary, and it was just about the club scene, which faded very fast. And that's one thing I will say is drag would probably be leaps and bounds ahead of now if it weren't for the HIV and the spread of AIDS like it did. A really good theme in there that it teaches you about drag is that drag is so much more than just putting on that makeup and that outfit. Because it's what's on the inside that's what it's about. And in Paris is Burning, they do a really good job of fitting that into their narrative. And that's something I think a lot of people that are beginning to do drag are missing at heart sometimes. And they just see it for that clout, you know? It's just it's so much more than just being pretty.
Foxy recently performed in his very first drag show and had an amazing performance.
I think the drag show was amazing because I was able to do a lot more than I thought I'd be able to.
His roommate Keenan was one of his biggest supporters.
If he needed me to bring him makeup, then I brought him makeup. I painted his nails so that he could glue them on. I early on helped him get a image of an outfit in his head and help him figure out the theme for what he wanted to do. Just I don't know, all the behind the stage thing.
Keenan does not participate in drag, but explained why it's important to show his support anyway.
I think it's very important to support the drag community even if we aren't in it or involved. It shows that they have support outside of the drag community because it's not the safest community, you know. So they know they have allies outside of the community that they can turn to.
100% important that anyone who does drag is able to have a hub, you know, where they can sit and share not only techniques but also experiences. You know, it's not easy. Honestly, the support that comes the most and is the most needed and the most appreciated is in that transition period. When you're doing your makeup, you're getting the contour, your outfit is getting put on. In those stages are when you need the most help. And that's honestly when it's all that support is able to be what gets you on the stage. And it's definitely nice when you've got support to be yo, you're doing great, just keep going.
I feel like we need a safe space for drag queens to perform, just because we already have these spaces for dancers. Almost every creative outlet is allowed a space to feel safe and express themselves, so the same should be allowed for drag queens. My hopes for the future of drag is that it will be as mainstream as just acting. I hope that one day it isn't stigmatized, it isn't seen so much as a stereotype, but as something like a culture.
I hope it can be more accepting, but hopeful, because at least drag is getting its foot in the door.